Okay, today on the podcast, I am joined by a band from Manchester not in England, but in
No.
America.
Yeah.
It is Sepsiss. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
You're the only one that got that right ever.
Yeah.
No
Really?
one ever gets that right. No one
you
has
know-
ever done it right.
They really don't.
Do you know what, man? I had Bird from Judge Judy on this podcast a couple of months ago.
Oh
And-
shit, that's huge.
That is
What's
and-
going on? What? Damn.
Yeah, and he doesn't do many podcasts, but I managed to sweet talk him into doing it anyway. And I
Yeah.
introduced him, and I introduced his name, and he said the same thing as you. Oh my God, you got my name right.
It never happens in show
That
business.
is great.
Yeah. So how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Good.
Yeah.
We're doing good. I was saying off camera that our ceiling caved in last night.
That's the only part that's not good.
That's a slight problem, all right.
Yeah. It's just
What-
that it's like being everyone's been home for so long during the year. I don't think houses are used to having people in them as much as they have been.
Probably not.
So there's so many people. We live in an apartment living,
Yeah.
and it's not true for science. But what goes up must come down in an apartment.
So
So-
what happened? Was it water or what
Yeah,
was it?
You got it
yeah.
right.
I think it
You
was
nailed it
somebody
on
was
the
taking
head.
a bath or something, or fell asleep in the tub or
Mm.
something. But this happens every few months. But
Lots
so
of water damage.
it was it was like Hurricane Katrina in the kitchen.
But the bathtub didn't come through the ceiling. That's the main
Not
thing.
that, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, guys, for people that might not know you guys, do you want to describe who you guys are and how long you've been together?
Well, hi, my name's Melissa Wolfe. I'm the lead singer of Sepsiss. The band itself has been together about 10 years now, and we've been through about 29 band members
Mm.
since we started. So thus the time length.
Mm.
But I think
We play
we
rock and roll.
finally have a good lineup here. I really believe that.
And we play rock and roll, but
We
it's
do.
it's a unique kind of it's a
Mhm.
unique blend of heavy metal, and it's got a sprinkle
Mm-hmm.
of pop music, and it's woven in with
A
some
little bit of everything in
yeah,
there, sprinkled on top.
it's inherently hard rock, heavy metal. We just find a graceful way to do broad strokes across every genre.
We still
So-
keep it very metal. though.
Basically, we steal all the good parts of all the genres and then crank the guitar up.
Yeah. So are you guys three core original members of the band?
Yes.
We're the
Yeah.
longest members, that's for sure. Yes, we are. I would call us core.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
William and I are the founders.
We would be
so-
nucleus. This would be
Yes.
Yeah.
core, and then there would be other layers and categories of things.
What elements and what you've been through, say 29 members, that's just a random number. Like I'm sure it's probably less than that, hopefully. What members do you struggle to fill? Is it the usual bassists and drummers, or
We have had the hardest
People.
time with the drummers mostly, but yes, people.
People.
People like to quit on us.
No. I meant people, like players come a dime a dozen, meaning people play well.
Yeah.
They do all the playing part. The people part, we can't land. So people on day one during the honeymoon, everyone's gonna go here, and we're gonna fly there, and we're gonna play this. The music is really different. So getting people to commit, pay attention in today's world, to get people to pay attention and look a little farther than their noses. A 6-piece band is really big to put together.
Yeah.
No doubt.
There's all kinds of distractions. And all kinds of, we got women, there's stuff going on. It's a different place. A lot of people here, we got staff members. To run a band like us, to do what we're doing, there's a lot that happens off stage. There's a lot that goes into, pre-production and preparing for performances. We're very physical. We're looking for a very visual thing and a very interactive thing. So you got to be upbeat, energetic, and happy. You have to have a great attitude. And people don't have the attention span to do that. And when everyone's in a good mood, it sounds like a great idea. We're gonna have a rock and roll band, and if you're a child, it's like a dream, you know, and then you expand on that. But when you start to become an adult, young adult, and middle-aged adult, and you know, bands got to be businesses, and when you're actually turning it into a business and corporation, and money's involved, okay, and property, and you need people to take it serious. So we've had problems with keeping people, because to be in a band, you have to have a thing called responsibility and awareness. And being friends is a good thing to, you know, being kind, you know, goes a long way. So that's, you know.
How did you guys meet?
So I met William through a Craigslist ad. Again, 10 years ago. I was like 17 or so.
That was dangerous.
It was.
That sounds very dodgy, is what we'd call that in Ireland.
Yeah, no, I had to meet up with him in Manchester, New Hampshire,
Dodgy,
which is like just really out there. And so I met up with him after talking through the Craigslist ad, and I had my tryout there. And there was another girl that was supposed to show up that day that didn't show up. And he just like started shredding on the guitar. I was like, oh, this is awesome, you know? So I was like, okay, let me show you what I can do. And I just started doing some covers and some originals that I had at the time.
You left that day with we had a draft. We had drafted up a song. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah,
but after that day, terrible. I mean, we wrote something like we didn't leave that day without having something going on. It was
I was like, okay, can you like whip me up something real quick that I could like kind of practice with? And
she tried to put me on the spot.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of black guys in a basement. She thought we were all rappers. She goes, she's like, so I'm here for the heavy metal interview. I said, oh, great. And she goes, but it's heavy metal, right? I said, yeah, why? And she said, I said, no, why? And then we got to it. And I said, no, look, seriously, I can play guitar. And then she goes, holy crap, that's cool.
Yeah, sure. You must have seen Live in Color before. So those guys are colored, you know, and they're a great band as well.
Yeah, well, Sepsiss is kind of like the United Nations of new rock and roll. We're all kinds of stuff.
We're just all over the place.
I was listening to a few of your guys' tracks on YouTube, and like when I was listening to them, I could take elements of, like, I thought, oh, that sounds a little bit like Killswitch Engage, or this sounds a little bit kind of new metal, and all different things. If you guys were to describe your sound, what would you say?
Well, we have a very urban sound. Definitely, there's a lot of urbanness in there.
What do you call that?
I would describe, I guess, heavy metal, hard rock.
Yeah.
For the most part.
To be fair, I would call
it. Really hard to pinpoint that, though.
I'm glad you didn't call it alternative, because that's a lazy way of labeling music. I think you could just say, oh, we're alternative.
Yeah, well, I'd hate to.
I feel like a lot of people fall back on that.
I would like to think of us as like more like risk takers, and you can't be the alternative if you're taking the risk. The risk is much sexier than the alternative.
How about unique?
Love it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, here's the thing. We love all types of rock and roll. As you can tell by our music, we celebrate all types of versions of music. Just, you know, with our genre, there's so much pounding and smashing and political awareness and, you know, people awareness and fantasy and wizards and warlocks and devils
all over the place.
For us, you know what I mean? We wanted to make a version of hard rock and metal that wasn't really as confusing, or nobody had to be on a certain team. You didn't have to go to music school to listen to it. You don't have to be, you know, it's not for, you know, it's not about being operatic or playing a million notes a minute. It was kind of like the ultimate, maybe if people who are into rap music or jazz or folk, if they needed a starter kit but something that was really authentic, then Sepsiss would be a good place to be. You know, it's kind of like a hard rock metal starter kit for people who really don't know about aggressive music. And our music's not violent or,
Not at
No.
all.
or
We're like
spiritual.
totally the opposite of that.
We don't
100%.
burn down churches or fight with anybody. We just make music
We write a little bit about everything and nothing.
and nothing at all.
Yeah.
You know, relationships, people.
What's your guys' influences?
Mine personally, I've got like some Evanescence, some Hailstorm, Alisana, Asking Alexandria, Avenged Sevenfold, In This Moment, Epica, Dio.
Rock and roll.
Yeah,
rock and roll.
definitely Michael Jackson.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed about you guys as well is like you're really active on social media. That's how I came across the band.
Oh, yeah,
like,
we're a very social media type band.
Yeah. How important do you think it is to build that connection with fans and yourselves?
It's so important.
Well, we don't
It's
have any gas
extremely
money.
important.
So the internet, it really helps out a lot. You know, back in the day, in order to get everybody to talk about you, you'd have to drive all over the map, and you know, and you know, everybody's got a band page. You know, everybody's a photographer and a model now, and you know, a dancer, and everyone's got a podcast, and everyone's a blogger and a vlogger and a TikToker and a snapper doodle. And you know, everyone is everything. There's no, I mean, nothing's, you know, so no place is, you know, unoccupied. There's so much real estate, you know, in the world where there's being band pages being made. There's probably 3 more band pages. I just gave that whole thing. Yeah, 3 more band pages were created. How many of those guys are authentically gonna be around and kick ass and grind it out? How many comedians are gonna make a page today? So years and years. So I mean, you know, you're dealing with, you know, the saturation in you know, like civilians abusing business tools. So when you're a band on social media and you're not authentic, or you don't have the rest of the resume, the rest of the press package, people look over you, man. You could be a hard-working band, you can have a lot of talent, and you could be well invested in yourself, and blow your load, blow your steam, and lose it all, not balancing or understanding how to use social media correctly. And for us, it's been imperative, you know, to survival when it comes to COVID-19, e-commerce, and you know, the days before in the 70s and in the 80s, you needed all these entities that came between you and the fan. You had the venue and the promoter and the booking agent and the manager and all the advertisers and the publicists, and you had all these guys lined up in front of, you know, there's the artist, and then these guys lined up to get to the fan. Where with social media, it's us and the fan
directly.
And that, I mean, and that has its consequences, because, you know, relationships with record labels, relationships, everything is, you know, a subscription base, or turns into a diluted consumer base kind of community, which is why a lot of bands, you know, are doing the indie thing to begin with. But being an indie artist also means being in a field where the fucking gatekeepers look at you as food, you know, and they hoard and hide and hold hostage business tools, and they use their experience and education to take advantage of indie bands by manipulating and having them believe that they're empowered by being independent. But really, a lot of independent artists are just paying for products that are created by the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So, you know, social media has been the way to divide and say there's a direct relationship, a direct conduit between our music and the fan, our content and the fan, our pictures and the fan, a message to us and the fans. A fan misses a ticket, a fan loses something at a show, he can almost get on the phone and call me. And, you know, we love Evanescence, but you're not getting on the phone with Evanescence. You're not getting on the phone with All That Remains. You're not getting on the phone with Aerosmith. We, you know, part of our business model is being a community band, and social media. Social media has, you know, we're running circles around the gatekeepers because they can't figure out how to make a decent, smart post or do smart advertising. I praise social media and the bands that know how to use it well, and the people that don't abuse the business tools, because really, if you know how to use it in an appropriate way, you can compete with the big bloggers. You can compete with the gossip sites. You can compete in that domain, and places like Facebook and Instagram will reward small businesses like us for being competitive.
Yeah, competitive and consistent as well. But
Yeah.
these days, record labels are nearly a thing like of the past. There's no money to be made in music, really. The only way to make money now is by touring and doing shows. Obviously, with the last year, you guys have been off the table. Have you got anything coming up?
So we've got a couple shows coming up that are booked, and hopefully
we have a ton
tour.
more that we're not allowed to
Yeah,
talk
there's going to be a tour at some point here. We're not allowed to say anything just yet, but
we can talk about
works.
what's been contracted.
So what we have right now is August 20th through 22nd in Lebanon, Maine at Charlie's Hill, where we're going to be doing our music video for our newest single, You Already Know. So we're going to be doing that day.
Fans will be happy too, because we have
absolutely.
a big it's like people can subscribe, go to Twitch and hang out with us on Twitch, and if you subscribe, you can put your name can go in a hat.
Yep.
If you're from the States, we could fly you out to the show.
So we're doing this big
cool.
VIP raffle that's being sponsored by Metal Mafia Pier 13. There's going to be a total of 5 winners that we're going to fly out to this show. It's going to be so epic. And the other show we have booked is in Jay, Florida for the Haunted Honeymooners event. That's, what is it? Frighteningly Metal Fest?
Yep.
Frighteningly Metal Fest 2.
October 30th.
October 30th. That one's going to be awesome too, because we're headlining.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of bands there.
And it's Halloween.
Halloween haunted
Yeah,
show.
it's right before Halloween.
I can't say I've actually even done something like that. I'm
So-
really excited.
I can't say
So
we have.
that's October 30th, yeah?
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
What time are you guys going on stage?
I don't know yet.
At the end,
Yeah.
No, because I have a logic here. If you go on and you play past midnight, you'll technically be into Halloween.
I think it will. I think
True
it will
that,
roll
if it's
into
past
it.
midnight,
I think it will roll
Yeah.
in.
So you guys should go for encore costume change out in Halloween.
That
Here.
is
We might be able
epic.
to
I
do
love
that.
that idea.
I think if there's
I love
one
it.
time that we could do it, it'd be now. This would be our
Yeah.
opportunity.
Love
We got something special planned out. We love to do a lot of dress up, man. We like to make the
Yeah.
show business thing look great, So we like to bring
We're
a lot
always
of.
dressed up in wardrobe and like little costumes.
Yeah,
and
so I
things.
mean, it's pretty much Halloween all the time for us. And,
I wear a tail on stage, so
we do more than just black t-shirts, So like in any room, we're easy to spot, and we're always trying to do something different with the stage plot or with the lights. So we'll have something unique for them. Yeah, also, each show we try to.
So there's going to be some. You've obviously had the last year off to kind of think about things and plan out things, and now you're just going to go balls to the wall, yeah.
Yeah, and we're actually working on album 2 as we speak. We're still writing.
We got about 6 songs tracked, but we released almost 11 in August 21st of last year.
We never got to tour.
And we just never, it was like we released it in the middle of the pandemic.
Smack in the middle.
And
It's absolutely insane. So we released the album. We just released the single You Already Know. That was April 30th. So at least people got to hear some new music in the meantime. And we're hoping to tour almost 11.
Yeah. Brilliant. Do you guys want to give a shout out to your websites and your merch shops and your social medias?
Absolutely. So you guys can always find us at sepsiss.com, spelled SEPSISS. Make sure you include the extra S. It's very important.
2 S's.
Very important.
What happens with 1 S?
So sepsis with 1 S is like a medical condition. It's a blood infection.
Yes, and right. You could also get 15 other bands that weren't smart enough to put 2 S's on it.
Yeah. So, you know, the extra S, it made us Google searchable. It made us unique, easy to find.
And we can own it.
Why we did that.
And we can own it.
Absolutely.
There's that word again, unique.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
That is it. Oh, and so we've also we're all over the place. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything, everything on planet Earth.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah. Well, guys, hopefully when you get back on the road, I might get back in contact with you and find out how that Halloween show went.
Oh yes,
yeah,
please,
absolutely. Catch
please.
up with us. We always try to recommend people stay in touch. We always have new things happening. It's not impossible that we won't be able to leave the country sooner than later. If things keep going the way that they're going, maybe in 22 we can get out where you are.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, over to Ireland.
Yeah, seriously.
Please, yes.
We've had a lot of people ask us if we're gonna make a move. It's certainly not impossible.
I know a couple of venues that I do nights over here in Ireland. With obviously not at the moment with the pandemic, but I do new metal nights and kind of DJ stuff over in Ireland. So I do a bit of event promotion over here. So,
that's awesome.
yeah, we have a unique night that we do over here that I came up with. It's new metal versus hip hop DJ night.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This guy right here is our rapper. So like we got a little bit of all that.
I might pop up there. I might slide over.
I'd like to go for fun. That's
forget about playing.
That's awesome.
So you guys come over here and you can play a show, and then I can DJ afterwards, and you can have a load of drinks.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Let's make that happen. That's a reality.
We're hoping to tour the world someday.
Right.
World domination.
Yeah. Best of luck, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.